The following presentation will show you how to clock technicians in and out of work orders using Fleetsoft version 11. This is your Fleetsoft Professional Plus screen, and what we're going to do is show you how you can check in multiple technicians simultaneously on one computer. So if you have open work orders, you can assign techs to those work orders and then they can clock in and out from their computer. So to do that, I'm going to just bring up a work order list here, and I've got a couple work orders showing. So we've got work order 170, 164, and 160. There's a couple different ways you can do this. The first way would be to go into each work order, and then in your individual PMs, you can go into the PM, click on service times, and then if you want to start work on that service, you can have a technician, and you can come in here, click the timer, and then select the technician that you want to perform the work. Once you select the technician, you can then click the timer button, and that timer will start ticking. So you can have that open here. Okay. Then, if you want to have another technician start doing work, you can go in and add another timer. If it's on the same service code, you can add another timer and then select a different technician to start another job, and then that technician can then start. You can then start clicking on that technician. For this particular exercise, we're just going to have that one. So that one technician is clicked into that one job. I'm going to go ahead and click OK here. And now I'm going to actually close out of the work order. So I'm going to save this work order. And when I do that, the actual timer will still keep going in the background. So I'm going to bring up another work order, and I'm going to go into this one, and we're going to assign a technician to do this particular work as well. And we'll have a different technician doing this one. So we'll have a technician 4, and we'll select that, and then we're going to have that technician start working, and I'm going to start that timer, and you'll see that timer is now working. And then I'm going to go ahead and click OK, and then click OK, and I'm actually going to close this window, and you'll see that I have this timer for here showing. Now you will see that I have 2 work orders open simultaneously. Okay, this is work order 170 and this is work order 164. So I can add as many work orders as I need to just by going up and clicking on the work order list, and then if I wanted to create another new work order and give them that work, they can, or if I want to go into an existing work order and start it, I can do that as well. So these are live timers going for each technician, and again, you can have as many of these open as you want, and you can layer them on top of each other if you've got a number of technicians. Once that technician is done, the technician can go and look at their employee number up in the title bar here and the work order number, and they can go in and they can add any notes that they want to put in here or add to the notes. And then when they're done, if they hit stop here, it's going to go and automatically update their time on that work order, and it'll close them out. So they can just check out, and it will automatically update the work order. So let's take a look at that. I'm going to go ahead and stop this one. This is work order 164. I'm going to stop it, and it's going to say add service time. I'm going to say yes. And this one we're going to leave still going. Let me go into the work order, and let's go into 164, and there's the employee number 3, and you'll see that their time, we didn't have a whole lot of time here, but that's the time that they did. And if you look here, here's the service time. This is the time they started, and this is the time they stopped. Okay. This is the way that would work. And again, you can have as many work orders clocked into at the same time. And if you want to, when you're ready, all these would be open. When the technician's done, they can just come in here and then hit stop. So I'm going to go ahead and close this one out. This is work order 170. Let's see what we get here. Here's employee number 1. They stop this, and we're going to add service time, yes. I'm going to go ahead and click on the work order, and we'll go into 170, and here's that PMA for employee 1. And actually, I can probably just bring this over, and you'll see here, so it's 0.1 hours, which is what the time was. And you'll see that it's recorded here. And if I click on the service times, that was here. Now again, I could have multiple technicians, different technicians working on the same piece as well, and they would just check out at different times, and their time would be recorded. All right. So that's one way you can do it. There is another way you can do it as well. You can do this by doing this clicking in and out on a work order. And this is if you're using, you can use this with in conjunction with the time cards. But what you can do is you can assign an employee to a work order, and then they can start their work. So say the employee wants to go in here, and they would just select themselves. So say mechanic 1 here. And instead of regular time, we're going to mark this as service time. And when you select service time, you get this little drop down arrow here. If you hit this, it's going to give you a list of all your open work orders. So if you remember, we had 3 open work orders, and it's going to list the individual service items on each one of those work orders. So if we had more than one service line on a work order, it'll actually list the individual service lines on the work order so that you can assign a technician to that individual service code or service item. So I'm going to assign employee 1 to this PMA, and then they're just going to go ahead and clock in. And it says now that they're clocked into that particular service code. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK. Now when they're done with that work, they would just simply come back into the clocking in and clocking out, and they would select their employee code, when we're going to use employee 1 here. And since they're checked in already, all we need to do is click check out, and that will automatically check them out of that work order for the service that they've been working on. So any open work that they've been doing, you just hit check out, and that will automatically check out their time for their work. So they just hit check out, and it'll say that the employee checked out. It'll verify that. Go ahead and click OK. And now let's go back into the work order and see what happens. So we did that on 170. And here's that PMA. And if we go to service times, you'll see that we now have 2 service times associated with that. This is the one we just did. It was a very small time duration, if any time. And now we have that. And then that would add to the total time. If we go into here, you'll see that the total of both technicians would total this amount. Okay. And I'm going to just go ahead and close out of there. So that shows you how to clock in and out of a work order. On this, feel free to call our technical support department or email them, and we'll be happy to help you. Thank you, and have a great day.